See if I can.
Sorry. Ooh.
Yep, it says you're live on Spotify.
What do we need to go into to listen to it? We just need to go on Twitch.
You go, yeah. Cool.
Is it Take a Seat Tidbits?
Mm-hmm.
I'll need to drop out the VC because if I try and watch Twitch and have Discord open at the same time, my phone's about to take a freak out. But I heard it through someone's Discord, so I'll just sit and listen to it that way. I am. I'm not.
Yeah. We got this. Let's go.
Fuck it. Let's do this.
Do the very first.
Like,
Take
am
a
I supposed to
Seat
be
Tidbits
having Twitch open as
Okay.
well to watch this? Oh. Fuck. Okay. I gotta open up Twitch. There's. Oh, I got an ad.
Hello, and welcome to the very first Take a Seat Tidbits podcast. Today was supposed to have a few more people with us, but we had technical difficulties and recorded an hour and a half of just Roughneck speaking. So this is take 2 of the podcast. So guests are a little bit different. It's going to be me and Roughneck hosting, and Alpha and Regency here. I was trying to think if it was TSB Regency or Regency TSB for a minute. And then I was like, you know what? Never mind. We'll just go with Regency. So, okay. Well, we'll go ahead and kick it off. Do you want to go ahead and start, Roughneck, and tell everybody a little bit about yourself? And
Yeah. So I'm TSB Roughneck. I'm div lead of DS. I basically run the division, oversee everything that's going on inside of it, and make sure that the guys and the girls that are there are taken care of. Also a part of the productions team, helping with the podcast, getting things started here. And it's a pleasure to be here. Excited to do the podcast, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
I agree. I think it's going to be really great. Alpha, do you want to go next and just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit briefly about you? Nope.
Uh-oh. Alpha may not be here.
Okay, well,
Awkward.
Oh, no, I think he had a mic problem. Must be having some technical difficulties.
Welcome to Discord, people. Welcome to Discord.
There, he's back.
Hey, Alpha. You're here.
That was totally Discord and not me forgetting I had my mic muted.
Okay, well, we were gonna. I was gonna start with you, and what I first question I guess I have for you is, how long have you been in TSB?
I've been in TSB since around the 21st of January 2020. So about a year and a half.
Oh, okay, that is great. And what are you currently? What rank are you currently in TSB? For those that don't know you.
Currently, I'm the Major General of Eternal Chaos, which is the PlayStation division. I came into TSB as a colonel and worked up to division staff.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
Right on, right on.
And I know last time we talked, we had a really good conversation on the fly. So I kind of wanted to go back into that because I thought it was really good that people know this information. We had talked about, the rivalry that exists between Xbox and PlayStation. And then, you had brought up some difficulties that I didn't even know existed. That on top of, the difficulties of, recruiting and retention and all of that, that PlayStation in
Yeah,
general is facing. So I wanted to see if you could, tell us about that.
yeah, of course. See, the main problem is since just before Sony rolled out the PlayStation 5, of course, because they've put the PlayStation 5 and the PlayStation 4 on the same servers, they've had to discontinue a lot of the features on the PS4 to make way for the PS5. In those cutbacks, it means they got rid of PlayStation communities, so there's no way of actually meeting people outside of game on PlayStation. They've changed the whole format of how you start parties, so now you have to have group chats like on Discord with people added to them so they can see the parties. And on top of that, they've added a new feature where you can actually turn off in-game chat via the console, which makes it extremely hard to recruit new members via in-game chat, and it's impossible to send out LFG game posts like on Xbox through the communities because they don't exist anymore.
Right.
So we're basically relying on people to have the settings switched off so they can talk in game chat and using the LFG apps like Noobly and Moot, them sort of apps.
Right. Yeah, and I mean that's crazy to me. It's kind of like we talked about last night. Unfortunately, like Trixie said, I oofed on the podcast. We had a lot of good content. We had more people here, so that's on me. But like we talked about last night, I mean that's crazy. I don't think a lot of people understand how difficult that truly is to try to recruit people into a community when you're going through those types of things, and all you're trying to do is bring people in, to have fun and enjoy the community like everybody else, and you guys are getting put to the ringer over there with the way Sony's doing things and kind of the hoops that you got to jump to in order to get more people. And to me, that is insane. That's pretty crazy
Yeah.
that things are set up that way.
Yeah, exactly. And because it's Sony and they've done it to PlayStation as a whole, it's actually affecting every community out there that's got a PlayStation division.
Oh yeah, and I can imagine. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of other communities besides TSB who are taking a major hit, from this because in the unprecedented times that we've had with the with the coronavirus and the layoffs, and then all these new consoles coming out. I mean, I've been trying to get my hands on a new Xbox for months now. So everybody trying to switch over to the new console. There's only been a select few that we're lucky enough to get a hold of it. So that it's crazy.
They've even extended the wait period for the new PS5 to come out of the factories till mid to late next year.
Man, see, and I mean that's just another big hang up for the PS4 division because I mean it's kind of like you said with everything they got going on right now with with, they can mute the chats, and you can't really put out LFG posts and can't see it if you have the new console, to now delaying that process even further. It's insane to me to I thought we had our struggles in the Xbox division with just trying to get LFG posts out and trying to recruit people in. But we don't have to jump through hoops like that, and that is crazy.
Well, I just thought about
Yeah.
something too that didn't make sense to me before, but it does now in this context. I didn't understand why Discord was partnering up with PlayStation, but PlayStation probably had to do that as a effort to save whatever they've done with all of this.
Yeah, Xbox was partnered with Discord a few years ago, actually. So it's nothing new for Discord to be partnering with a game console.
Yeah.
I think mainly it'll be like with Xbox, where if you pair it with Discord, it actually shows what games you're playing underneath as your status. I think that'll be similar for the PlayStation, so you can pair the PlayStation to Discord and it shows the games that way as well.
Right.
See, I didn't know if it was something that was going to incorporate party chats into that, which would be.
I mean, it could be, they could be adding a version of Discord to the main console hub, which would help a lot as well. But that's just rumors that I've heard.
Yeah.
We haven't actually heard anything concrete about what it entails. Obviously, because that's not due to happen until early next year.
Yeah, it'll all be speculation until then, really.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm glad that it's a topic that that was brought up, because, like I said before, it's one of those things where it's something that we weren't aware of of the recruiting pool as far as the PlayStation division goes, and to see you guys still still moving along and still trucking along, it's crazy to think that you guys got to jump through all these hoops and stuff in order to get people in, but you're still able to, carry the division on and get people excited and rank up and build squads over there and stuff like that. So, I mean, that says something about your leadership as far as, being able to keep things going, even though it's really difficult to bring new faces in and get people into the community.
Yeah, it's just like human nature. You've got to adapt and evolve to any situation.
Right.
And having the members that we've got has really aided us and helped us in trying to move forward.
Yeah.
So I'd always put thanks out to them.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's that's one of the biggest things too in divisions is the people make the division. It has to do with the leadership a little bit, but it's like I tell everybody all the time: without people in a division, without people to help run the division, and colonels, majors, captains, even the members, just the members themselves, when you take a step back from leadership and you really look at everything from the top down, if you don't have those members in there that are being active and playing games, and being a productive part of the community, then you don't have anything. You're just a guy at the top with the label, and at that point, that label would mean nothing. So I mean, that's one of the biggest reasons why recruiting is so important. And I hope that things get better over there for you guys. I really do. I hope that they figure something out as far as the LFG posts and all that. I mean, like I said, that's just, man, that's so bizarre. It really is. It's crazy that they would do that. But
The only thing
yeah,
I think.
Yeah, sorry, it's left us a lot like the PC division on how they recruit, to be honest, because they don't have the communities like Xbox do. They rely on LFG apps and in-game party chats. So there's a lot of similarities between the PC and the PS4 there, recruiting-wise. So it's just a matter of adapting our play to accompany other divisions' ways of doing things. I think once we get that equal balance, we'll be moving forward a lot faster.
Right.
See,
Yeah, and once all that equals out, that's when that division can really take off, because then you guys can start getting back to your regular routines and stuff like that. And I mean, regardless of the barriers that you guys have, in the PS4 division as far as recruiting, I mean, things get slow over here, and I think a lot of it is just, some people look at gaming communities and they don't really see what, it's kind of like, what's the point? What's the point in joining it? What's the point in being a part of it? And hopefully with what we're doing here, today, recording these videos and kind of talking out about the good things about the community scene, we'll be able to draw attention to more people, because people who have a misconception of what we do here, it's a lot of fun once you get in. It's a lot of fun once you get in. You meet people. I mean, I'm sure you can remember. I'm sure Trixie and Regency, and I know I can remember the moment I came into TSB. I mean, I've never been flooded with so many friend requests in my life.
yes,
It was unreal. So
I actually, one of my, the moment that probably said, yeah, this is the right place for me, was I got a message from Terror Code that was like, welcome to the community. We're glad you're here. And I was like, what? like, like you could actually talk to him. Because I knew leaders of others communities, but I never really talked to anybody. And I just thought it was cool that he was this regular guy that you can just talk to.
yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I
I
mean?
mean,
Like you
yeah.
can, I don't know,
And that's one of the biggest things too. I mean, like how many of these big communities do you run into, or that you've been a part of, that you can honestly sit there and say that you could go into your founder's party any day of the week and just hang out and talk to them, and they would talk back to you, and they'd ask
yes,
you how you're doing, and ask you about yourself, like where you're from and what you do IRL and stuff, and actually have a common interest in who you are as an individual, not who you are as a gamer, not who you are as a number in the community, but who you are as a person. Like, they want to get to know you. I mean, I can tell you
Yeah,
off the top of my hand, I don't know very many communities that are like that.
me either.
I think when people think of clans and communities, they can't see past the rank structure. And I think the best thing about TSB is, although we have the rank structure when it comes to gaming and socializing, we don't have that blocking the way. So there's no barriers between joining the founders party and having a laugh with Terror Code and Unicorn. And I think that's a really good thing to happen in clans and communities.
Oh yeah, I mean,
I do too. Yeah, I'll completely
100%,
agree. Because
100%.
what I liked about TSV in relations to other places is that TSB rewards loyalty,
Yeah.
and you don't see that a lot of places. Sometimes it's people are favorited, or what, for whatever reason, and they get promotions over people that are like really giving to the community. And I know me as a person, I'd rather have that person that, maybe they have weeks that they struggle, but they are so loyal to you and to TSB and to the squad as a whole, that if you called them and said, hey, I need some help, they would help you.
Right.
No questions asked. They would help you.
Yeah,
And
and I think that's what changes. It's a crucial part of any community. I mean, if you want to run a successful community, you've got to have things like that. You really do.
yeah. And I know one thing, I noticed Regency, I wanted to ask you a question about something.
Yes, ma'am.
I know when we had talked in the beginning, when we were planning the episode and everything, you had said a comment that really I was like, oh, that's cool. You had said something like, this one stuck with me. In relation to TSB and stuff. And why was that? Why was it that this one was so made an impact where others didn't?
Mm-hmm. I think it's just because of not only the members and like the other squads, because I mean, yeah, my squad reached out and they all said hello, like added me on like Xbox and stuff, but it was all the other squads and just all the other people like flocking to be like, oh, hello, and like make me feel welcome, like game with me and stuff, and then the higher ups themselves, like all like the majors, colonels, the BG, like I said, Killjoy was really one of the first people to reach out and say hello, like personally welcomed me into the community. And just it was just a nice, warm and welcome feeling coming into the community. And then like I've made friendships that like that have expanded into like IRL friendships. So I don't know. It's just it like just everyone is just so genuine in the community, and they treat people like just like people, and they're just here to have fun.
Yeah, and I mean that's one of the that's what I tell people all the time. That are new to communities. They've had bad experiences in communities. That's the first thing I hear. When I'm out recruiting, I'll run into a couple people and I'm like, hey man, tired of running solo? You come over here and join the fam. Be a part of something cool. And man, look, I've been a part of communities, and I'm not about the drama. I'm not about this. I'm not about that. And I'm like, look, you may have been in a before, but give this one a shot. It'll change your mind. And 9 times out of 10, it ends up changing their mind. And kind of touching back on like what we talked about last night. With when Regency explained, at one point she was talking about leaving. And me and her, we sat down in a party and had a conversation. And I just told her, I was like, look, people will say certain things. They may feel a certain type of way about an outcome of a decision or the way something was handled, but don't let that cloud your judgment on how you perceive the community. People here care. People here are willing to do whatever they need to do to help you succeed. And that's one of the biggest things is being there for each other, communicating, talking. Overall, just having a good time.
Yeah, that's really the best part of it. So I think it might be neat to hear. I saw this. That's what I get when I'm trying to think and talk at the same time. I saw this quote on Facebook, or this question that somebody asked on Facebook, and I don't remember which community it was, or I would give them credit for it. But somebody said, who was the person that made the biggest impact on you in your gaming career? Not leader, person. And I started to think about, and in my gaming career, people that have made an impact on me. And one of the people that came to mind was somebody I was in another community with. And he was a sergeant. He never ranked up. He just didn't have time. And so he would always help people just to do it. Like, he had no end game in mind or, agenda, because he didn't care about ranking up. He just wanted to be there. And he would run people through raids for like hours. If anybody that plays Destiny 2 knows how long those raids take, and he would spend time with people that it was like, they're never going to get this. And he would sit there and be patient and help them through it. And I think
Those
it's
raids are
things
so
like
hard.
those. They are so hard.
They are so hard.
And I just brought that up to say that that's what makes TSB different for me, because I could name a lot of people that are like that have, they give their all to a community because they believe in the people there, and they're loyal to those people and the community. And this, I just wanted to take a minute and maybe say thanks to some of those people.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, whoever wants to start, do you want to start,
Yeah.
Roughneck, and talk about
Yeah.
yours?
Yeah, mine's a bit of a sad tale, and I'll make it short. I don't want to take up too much time, but I started in the community scene when I was probably about 13, 14 years old, and I met an older guy on here. He was actually one of the first guys that I added on my friends list at that time. I had just got a new profile, and I'd lost all my other friends and stuff that I just met in Call of Duty games, and he added me, and his name was Mad Monkey. And he was in his late 40s, or early 50s, somewhere around there. And when I started running clans and stuff like that, I was real discouraged. I was young. My biggest fear was that people weren't going to respect me. People weren't going to want to follow me. They knew that I was young, and they were just going to try to run me over. And that man basically sat in parties with me, and he coached me up, and he hyped me up, and gave me all the tools that I needed, to do something like this. And was always super encouraging. That some days would be bad, and I would just want to kind of give up on it and just go run solo and be by myself. And he wouldn't let me. He at that time I went by Copenhagen Clean, and he would always tell me, like, Cope, just got to keep rocking with it, little buddy. Just keep moving along. Don't let little stuff phase you. Don't let it get in your head, and just keep pushing forward. And that was something that always stuck with me. It sticks with me even now. I think back on the talks and stuff that we would have, when I would be going through hard times and stuff like that, as far as getting frustrated and worked up. And I would just remember, him telling me, like, hey, look, stuff happens. You can't control everything. You got to just keep moving forward. And sadly, I lost him about probably 6 years ago. He passed away. But that's still something that sticks with me to this day. Is things get hard, but you can't control everything. You just gotta keep pushing forward and keep going down the road. It's something that is definitely stuck with me, and he impacted me greatly in my young adult gaming life to help me be able to do that. So that's definitely one guy that I wish I could thank in person, but unfortunately, like I said, he's passed on now. But yeah, that's my experience.
I don't even know what to say after that. That was a really good story. And it's amazing how gaming brings people together like that. And somehow the best people end up in TSB. Like,
I agree with that 100%.
I mean, the ones that don't really cut it kind of weed themselves out pretty quickly.
And honestly, this is a different vibe. It really is. Like, TSB is a different vibe. We're all family, and we're all kind of like that dysfunctional family. You know what I mean? We're not front porch sitting, white picket fence. Some of us are single wide trailer, drinking beer, having fun, shooting fireworks off in the middle of December. It's just, some of us are a little crazy and some of us are a little sane, but you put us all together and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And that's how I describe TSB to a lot of people. I'm like, man, it's a little bit of white trash, it's a little bit of clean trash, but all together, we're all in it together. That's how it works.
Yeah. But you come over here and call any of mine, white trash or clean trash, and I'm gonna be after you.
Yeah, you'll have to mess with the call then. Yeah. You'll have the whole posse on you, I promise you.
Only TSB can say that about other TSB.
Yeah, one of I have the quote on my Discord, and I'm gonna keep it there forever. But it's "Runneth up and catch they hands, Roughneck 2021," and that's to anybody who wants to try me or any of my homies. That's what that's there for. So.
Okay. Who wants to go next? Alpha, do you want to tell us about a story about somebody in your gaming career that made an impact?
Yeah, it's really easy for me. Obviously, when I first joined XGM back in 2019, believe it or not, I was a really, really shy person. I would join parties, but I wouldn't talk. And there was only one person that actually got me out of that habit, and that's Stormy TSB. Back when I joined, she was the colonel of the squad I joined. She was one of the first people to actually talk to me and get to know me. Over time, we've become best friends. She was also my mentor, which helped me achieve what I have so far. So yeah, everything that I've learned through my time has been from her. And she's made me the leader I am today.
Hell yeah.
That's great. That's awesome. I'd love to hear stories like that where people come in and I can't see you as somebody who doesn't talk in parties. Like I'm having a really hard time grasping that this is the same person.
Right.
Oh, the hardest thing for me to do was when I was first recruiting and when I was first hosting workshops. It was so hard for me to break and get my confidence.
No.
I always find that people when you can help somebody like that, it ends up being the best member you'll ever have.
Yeah, and it is honestly one of the truest things. I don't know how many people that I've personally myself trained who are like, man, look, I'm really shy. I'm not big on public speaking, and then you break them out of that shell, and you almost wish you wouldn't have, because then it's just never ending, But it's awesome. It's awesome to see somebody who kind of like Alpha, to go to. Hey, I don't want to talk in parties, man. I'm not comfortable. I don't, whatever. To just being like, boom, now he's here. Now, now we're doing a podcast together. A lot of people would have been like, no, I don't want to. I ain't trying to get on there. I don't want to sound stupid. But you break that shell, and then people get way more comfortable, and then it becomes fun. Everything starts to become more fun.
Yeah. But that's what people miss about gaming communities. It's not about the games. It's really, it's about so much more than the games. Like you meet people and get to know them on a personal level. Like I can tell you the people that do well under pressure from playing COD with them. I can tell, okay, this person can handle pressure, this person, I can tell, you can tell how somebody is with other people. Just hang out in a party and, listen to them a few minutes. And you'll be like, okay.
Yeah.
You
For
know,
sure.
it's really, you get to see a side of people that I don't think you always get face to face. Like almost a realer at times. I don't know if that makes sense. I'm getting all off on a tangent. But, I just say that to say like it seems like you make deeper connections with people.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Because somebody may not stand in front of you and talk about how they're struggling to get up and do something in front of people, like a workshop or whatever. But online, they can say it because they don't have to look at your face when they say it. They could just,
See, the thing is, a lot of people separate like best friends IRL and online. But truly, the ones you meet online are more of a best friend than the IRL ones,
Mm-hmm.
because they know you more personally, because there's that screen barrier.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So they don't see you like IRL people, friends do.
Yeah.
That's purely on instinct on how they treat you.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, 'cause
I've had
more
Yeah.
realism there.
Yeah, I've had more conversations with the people I've met through DSP and like online in general at like 4 o'clock in the morning than I've ever had with my IRL friends. So I consider myself closer to my online friends than my like in-person friends for sure.
Yeah, me too. I mean, the same. I've had like I'm gonna brag on somebody for a minute. I was having like a really tough day. It was like one of the most important days I'd had in a long time. And so I told my friend about it, and she went out and got all these quotes off my Twitter and made screen backgrounds for me that says like never give up and wake up and choose happiness, and then put, Trixie TSB hashtag Queen Crew. And that was probably one of the most thoughtful things that anybody had done for me in a while. And she didn't have to. She just did it because she's a kind person. And I'm going to shout you out on here. You've shouted me out on your podcast a whole bunch of times. But it was Landry. Um, and I, otherwise, if it wasn't for gaming, I wouldn't have met her, because she's, on the other side of the many hours from me. But, I appreciate her, and that she thought enough to do something like that. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It just,
Yeah,
it was like,
I
wow,
can
you know? So,
I can understand that. I've done similar when one of my friends was down. I pulled off a quote that I knew fitted them and sent that to them, and it cheered them up. It's just something like that. With online friends, you know more about them, and it's a lot easier to help them through hard times.
Yeah. And it really is, I mean, I think there's probably two people in this community that know more about me than most people do, and that would be TSB Killjoy and TSB Wolfpack. Me and those two guys, we've been friends for probably entirely too long, and without gaming, it would have never happened. I mean, long story short, me and Wolfpack Reaper, we've known each other for 15 years, and I got to meet him for the first time last summer, and it was the coolest thing ever. He drove from, and he's gonna hate me if he listens to this if I get this wrong, but I think he lives in North Carolina.
are you
South
just gonna
Carolina.
throw him out there like that?
Yeah, he lives in South Carolina, and he drove from South Carolina to Oklahoma to see me.
Are you
Went out of
throwing
his way.
everybody out?
Yeah. Well, it was just one of those things. It was so bizarre. Like he messaged me one day and was like, "Hey, so when can I come down?" And to me that was a joke. I was just like, "Oh, whenever you want. I don't care. Door's always open." And then he tells me that him and his mom are going on a trip to New Orleans, and he's like, "Oh, well, we're gonna stop by. We're gonna stay Friday, Saturday, and then head out Sunday." And I was like, "Yeah, okay." And then like next thing I know, I'm at work. He calls me and he goes, "Hey, I'm at your front door." And I was like, I mean, I'd already told my lady. I was like, "Hey, he may be coming down, but I'm not sure." He calls me at work and he's like, "Hey, we're here, but I don't think anybody's here." And I was like, "Oh, okay." But I mean, it was the coolest thing. And if it wouldn't have been for gaming, and if it wouldn't have been for communities, if it wouldn't have been for communities, that probably would have never happened.
Oh yeah, I've got so many friends, obviously stateside, that I want to go and visit. But it's obviously being in the UK, it's a little bit more difficult. But for me, it's that it's still got that bit of nerves to it. It's like, even though I really do know them from online, it's like I kind of have issues where it comes to I kind of get the feeling that if they meet me in person, they might not like me as much as they do online.
Same.
That went out for a minute. So I'm sure that was a great story that I didn't get to hear. Sorry. Okay, I'm back.
No, I was just saying that I've got so many friends that I've met in communities. Obviously, living stateside, and because I live in the UK, it's a little difficult for me to get there to visit. But I'm always nervous about what if they don't like me, IRL sort of thing.
Yes, that I felt that. Yes. That's I always worried about that, and I worried about. Oh, oh, I worried about.
Reaper's here.
Yeah. Welcome, Reaper.
Thank you.
And but yeah, I always worried about like, what if they think I'm different in real life, like, because I'm not quite as outgoing.
Yeah,
I'm a little bit more reserved as far as meeting new people and stuff like that.
yeah. As I was saying when I back to when I first joined, I was really really shy. I'm like that around new people, even IRL. So I've broken out of it, obviously with the help online, but it's still there. So I'm constantly fighting to not be as closed and nervous and all that.
I would have never known that you were closed or nervous or any of that.
Yeah, it's usually when I'm getting around new people. When I'm online, I've kind of the shell. Um, it's kind of hardwired now, like a script. So when I'm bringing in new recruits, it's more script rather than, oh, what if they don't like me, sort of thing.
Gotcha.
But when it's meeting someone on a personal level, it's completely different. There's no script for that because everyone's different.
That is true. I never thought of it in that way, but it is. It's almost like you have you start with a common interest,
Yeah,
whereas you don't know what it is in real life. Like you may not always know what do you have in common with this person. Like, hey, I am the weirdo. uh, that's me saying that. That's what I usually say. My hair comes so weird, girl. You know.
I mean it's like one of my favorite jokes. A kid can walk through a bus and say hello to everyone, and everyone thinks they're cute, but when I do it, they look at me weird.
I swear,
Yeah.
I've felt that feeling walking into rooms before. Like,
I feel like I am probably. I don't know why that just started up. Hang on. Will you go off? Anyway, you can cut that out. But I feel like I'm probably exactly the way that you guys probably think I am. Like I'm loud. I'm up front. I don't care. I mean, I tell people all the time, like the roughneck you meet on here is the roughneck you meet IRL. I mean, if I ever like when I met Reaper, I came up and gave him a huge old bear hug. It just if I meet you, you're probably gonna get a hug and a just a roughneck. That's just the way it is. I'm not a shy person by any means necessary.
Oh, I'm exactly the same. Once I get to know someone, I'm talking to them exactly how I'm talking to all of you now.
Right.
But it's getting past that initial process because, like I said, there's no script for meeting someone who you don't know the interests of.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely something a little, but that's also something that gaming, I can honestly sit here and say that gaming helped me out a lot with like just being able to talk to people. It kind of gave me that confidence and it's like we've said before, it's easy to do it because we're not face to face. Like I'm sure if we were doing this interview or podcast, like all sitting in a circle together talking about it, it might be a little different. There might be some jitters and stuff like that. But the gaming world, the community world, you're constantly around people. You're doing things like workshops and game nights, and you're going to meetings and you're asking questions. So it kind of opens you up. It makes you get to that point where you feel more comfortable on speaking and doing things like this. So to me, anyway, I give a lot of credit to the community and to just to gaming in general, because it's helped me open up more than I already am anyway, as far as talking about certain topics or conversations, or even just starting one. To try to break the ice or get out of a weird set. So
Yeah. Yep, gaming communities are great for so many different reasons. As long as you're in the right one. You get into
Yeah.
a bad one, you know it, and you're like, this place kind of stinks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I
but
like to tell people that if you're going to join a gaming community, you're not just joining and making friends. You're actually learning what I call transferable skills. So you're learning leadership skills that you can take with you IRL into any job industry that you're working in or wanting to work in.
Mm-hmm.
So you're constantly learning life skills being in the community.
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. And hey, Regency, did you get to tell your story yet about the person that impacted you the most?
No, not yet.
Okay. Well, we're getting kind of towards the end of it, so I'd like to go ahead and get Regency's, and then we'll hear from you, Reaper, if you want to talk for a few minutes. So go ahead.
So I think it's actually a couple of people that have made a big impact. It's my gaming group that I've been a part of for about. It's not really a group. It's just like 3 or 4 of us that always like game together. And they've quickly turned into like my family, because they didn't treat me like I was like, oh yeah, no, a female. We have to like teach her how to like play this game. Like we gotta like be like we gotta be careful what we say and stuff. Like they just treated me like any other person. And they really opened me up about like the different games there are, like the like not being so shy in like parties and stuff, like, and like because I used to be a really shy person. And because of them, they really impacted me and made me see like, oh yeah, no, like I shouldn't listen to like all like the stigmas and like all like the shit that people say like online, like Call of Duty lobbies, for example. Those are the worst. And especially if they hear any sort of female voice come onto those comms, like it. But they really helped me grow like a backbone in the gaming community and to not take other people's crap. And it's helped me IRL as well. So I think those people have made the biggest impact on me, and I will be forever grateful. And they're my family. Like we're all a very tight knit group.
Yeah, I mean that's wonderful. That these things that happen that may not have happened, they probably wouldn't have happened had it not been for online.
Exactly.
The friendships like that, and having the bonds with people that people understand stuff that they don't always get to see. Like a lot of important issues are addressed and found online. Like I think we had talked last time on the last one, that females go through a lot of crap gaming in general. I've played games and gotten, huh?
I think that's an understatement, but
yeah, but
sorry.
they go through a heck of a lot of crap, like crap on crap and then more crap. Maybe that's a little bit better, but
I mean, Yeah, in a sense that is like 100% true though. And we've just learned to deal with it, and I don't think that's something that should be like that's not something that we should just sorry, I'm trying to find the right words for it. Like that's not something we should allow. Like because I mean we're all people. We're just here to game and stuff, and I don't particularly understand why like just one gender is supposed to just suck it up and just move on, you know?
Yeah.
But I mean, like I said in the other one, TSB is really good about just treating everyone the same, and they just don't take crap from anybody, and everyone is very welcoming and accepting. So that's partially why I stayed.
Yeah, that's me too. The same thing because I'd have had people that they'd be like, they said what to you? Who did this? Like, and then I felt like for the first time that I was earning my way,
Mm-hmm.
if that makes sense too. Not that maybe I didn't before, but I really felt like hard work was rewarded.
Mm-hmm. Not just
You know,
that we're getting a pass just because we're female. Yeah.
yeah, or that it's
Yeah.
like a favorites game or anything. Because, I've seen promotions before that were, oh, this is my favorite person. They don't really deserve it, but I'm going to give them this. And I never once felt that here.
Mm-hmm.
At least, in the squads that I was in and the people I've been around. I felt like people that got promotions got them because they showed that they're a loyal person. They showed that they can do the work. And they deserved it.
Yeah, and I said this last time, but I really want to highlight this again. I like whenever I was ranking up in DS, I was told that the only reason that I was going to be an officer is because they needed their trophy squad female officer, and I had brought it up before I started looking at the captain role and rank and stuff, and immediately, not only did my training captain talk to me about it, my colonel talked to me about it, but my BG and the MG roughneck at the time, they all talked to me about it, and they made sure 100% that was not the issue, and that whoever ranks up in DS actually deserves it. It's like it's really easy being a female in that community just because we're treated just like everyone else and we're not given special treatment. So it's really nice and refreshing to see that TSB isn't one of those communities that just worships the ground that females stand on, basically.
Yeah,
It's a running joke. It's a running joke though that all the females in the community have like their like simps and stuff, but it's not actually true. We're just all friends, and we're just all like we're all very comfortable with each other to make those types of jokes and to not take it seriously.
Yeah.
So
We treated each other like people.
exactly,
It's so
we're all one big
simple.
family.
Just treat each other like people. And like I said before, the ones that don't usually clear themselves out.
Yeah.
The problems usually solve themselves. And that's what makes this community so great, because people recognize good qualities and reward them.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'd never understood before I came into TSB the whole loyalty is royalty, if I can talk.
Mm-hmm.
But I do now. Like, you just have to talk to the people, and you'll see. These people, they're good people. Like, people, there's a lot of good people here, and they've, proved they're loyal. They've proved that, they'll got your back. And that, to me, is worth anything, I can't even think. It's so much worth.
It's worth putting that energy into this community.
Yes, yeah.
100%.
Like, I'm like, I want to give back part of what I've gotten out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Even though like there's no, I could, recruit so many people that was good members, and it would never be enough to repay.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But that's really kind of what we're doing here. We're trying to show you the side of TSB that how we get that loyalty, because it isn't just given.
Right.
People don't just come in the door and automatically want to be loyal to you. But
Yeah, I mean, it definitely takes time. It takes time. You got to work with people. You got to gain their trust. The way I look at it is respect. Respect given is respect earned. You got to give respect in order to get respect. You can't just come in anywhere. Regardless of who you are, what gender you are. If you come in and you just kind of act like your shit don't stink, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to get any respect out of that. It's better. I think to me, it's better to come in humble and to come in. When you come into a community, come in, with a clear mind. Don't let anything outside, cloud your judgment on what you think this community is going to be like. Walk in the doors, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, ready to learn about the community, ready to learn about the way the community works. If you're someone who is interested in the ranking process, it's great that we have a lot of people that come in with experience, and they want, the first thing they want to throw out is, well, I've been doing this and I've done that. Well, that's great. But everybody's different. Every community is different, and the way we do things are different, and same way with the rules and stuff. We'll have a lot of just members come in that, are just wanting to come in to make friends in the game. And they're like, well, I was a part of this and we did things this way too. And I'm like, well, that's great, but you need to make sure that you stay open-minded to the way that we do things, because if you're stuck on one community and the way they do things and you come into our community, 9 times out of 10, you're not ever going to make it. And I've seen that happen so many times where people have had that mentality. They've come in and they said, well, I was a part of this community and I was a part of that community, and I've done this and I've done that. And, 2 weeks at tops is the longest they last. It's the people that come in and they don't demand respect. They want to get to know people. They want to play with people and make friends and stuff. They eventually grow into that role and become, leaders, become good members, or whatever, whatever the case may be, whatever they're pursuing at that time.
Yeah. But people will give you the respect that you earn, too. For the most part. The ones that don't probably aren't gonna cut it, but
I think we got Reaper next, don't we?
Yes. Reaper, you there?
Sorry, I took a second. I wasn't on the Discord app to unmute myself quickly.
No problem. We were just sitting here. We were talking about members. Anybody in your gaming career, somebody that you remember, regardless of rank, that made an impact on you, and tell us what happened.
Well, I would say that the person that's made the most impact on me is actually one of my IRL friends. I mean, I wasn't much of a gamer to begin with. I was more of a social person. Well, I say a social person, but it used to just be, back in my day, MSN and Yahoo Messenger. I know I'm really showing my age with those two things there. But no, he introduced me to gaming, and basically with the gaming, he showed me how it was a good output. It was a good way to let your emotions go, type thing. It was a way to de-stress, de-anger yourself, just unwind and let all your anxiety and everything go. And honestly, God, it helped me a lot. I was a recluse type person. I would just play with a small group of people, and that was it, type thing. And I eventually branched out, and now I've got this great network of friends within TSB and with non within TSB, and I couldn't ask for better pals. Really, they're always there to speak to me. They're always there when I need someone kind of thing, and it's just absolutely amazing. I mean, TSB alone has helped me a great bit. There's I mean, there is one special person that's he's a colonel within DS now, and literally he knows I'm down, and I was down in my luck. I couldn't afford anything, and literally he turned around and goes, "Just as a gift, what game have you been eyeing up?" type thing. And next thing I know, I'm getting a message from Xbox Live, basically being like, "Oh, this person gifted this to you," and I didn't even ask for it. It was just a case of he'd done it, and I didn't realize he had done it till after I got the message, and I was grateful for it as well. I mean, gaming in general has just changed my life completely.
Yeah. That's amazing, you know, when things like that happen and people surprise you, because it's usually when you least expect it, somebody will turn around and do something amazing like that. Did you say did you want to say their name, or I didn't know if you did and I missed it?
No, I didn't say the name. It was actually Blackshirt, who is currently the colonel of Helix. He just became colonel after Helix split into Quantum and Helix. He's just an absolutely amazing person. I mean, he's always there for me to speak to as well. He'll sit there and listen to me rant on sometimes.
Yeah, I mean
But
that's I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, it's all right. On you go.
No, I was just saying that's the kind of things that people need to hear. You know, like these people that do this stuff and they don't ask for thanks. You know, they don't ask for anything in return. They just do it because they care about you as a person.
Yeah.
And I think it's
Well,
it's because of our close knit feel that we have.
yeah.
Um,
But I mean, there's always there's the saying that a lot of people use, and it's pay it forward kind of thing, and it's a case of if someone's done a good deed to you, don't be scared to do a good deed for someone else, and make sure that that person knows to just keep carrying it on type thing, because it's always good to do something good for others, because not only does it make you feel good, it helps out that person as well, makes them feel good, and they can go on to do it to other people as well.
yeah. No, that's
it.
true. Yeah. Go ahead, Alpha.
The smallest act of kindness can change someone's whole week.
Yeah, exactly. Even if it's just a case of standing in the grocery line and someone in front of you is like, say, $1 short for like loaf or something, that $1 to that person to help them get that loaf, it could just change their whole day and change their whole outlook on how they're feeling at that moment in time type thing.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. I agree on that.
Yeah.
That's one of the great things about gaming, you know, is a lot of people don't realize how much you can truly change somebody's life by being generous, being kind to them, playing with them, you know, being there for them through hard times, you know, and that's one of the greatest things about gaming communities is because you get all those aspects. You know, you get to make those friends, you get to have those conversations, you get to be around those people all the time. You know, I mean, really, it all determines on how much you get on. If you get on a lot, you're gonna get to play with your homies a lot and talk to them and have a good time and laugh and joke. You know, and that's one of the biggest reasons why we preach activity the way we do. You know, it's not that we understand people have IRL, you know, stuff going on. We understand people have lives outside of this, but you know, it's great to get on here and get to know people. It's great to get on here and make friends and get to have, you know, things, you know, things happen that wouldn't normally happen if you weren't on video games, you know. So it's a pretty cool deal. You know, the gaming scene in a whole is a pretty cool deal.
Yeah. It definitely is. So I think with that, we are probably going to go ahead and start wrapping it up. I just wanted to mention a couple of events that are going next week in case anybody's interested in going. And then I'll give everybody a chance if there's any last things that y'all want to say. But it looks like next week will be 21st is a hype day. 22nd is going to be the 2v2 gunfight at 7 p.m. Eastern. And then the 23rd is a chess tournament at 4 p.m. Eastern. And the 28th is a Jackbox tournament. If you never played Jackbox, it's super fun. It's always fun. So those are the things that are coming up in Glow. We'll be looking for those. And does anybody have anything they want to say as we're heading out?
Quick shout out to TSB Regency for getting top div member of the month. She won a $25 gift card for her outstanding work in the division. She's been doing a lot of great things over there. She's helping the community grow and helping her squad. Also, helping members, training people, doing workshops and game nights. So yeah, big congrats to her. And also, guys, like Tracy just said, with the events and stuff going on, go check them out. I mean, you never know. You may get in there and you may absolutely love it and want to keep doing it. And I think, Trixie, your plan is to make sure that we talk about the events and stuff towards the end of the podcast like we are now.
Yes.
So, yeah, I mean, you guys tune into the podcast. Trixie will drop the dates and we'll get them squared away. And, you guys can come in and listen to the great podcast and then hear about the awesome events that we have in TSB and about some of the great people. So. But yeah, that's all I got for it.
And anybody else have anything you want to add, or I think we'll.
Yeah, I just want to say something to everyone listening. Don't be afraid to try something new. If you don't put in the effort, then you'll never know whether it's a good idea to do.
100%.
Yep.
100%.
I'm so glad that you decided to try something new, Alpha, because you're super cool. And if you'd had never come into parties talking, I don't know, we never might have met. And I'm glad I met all of y'all. I think all of y'all are super cool people. But yeah, that sounded a lot cooler in my head. Sometimes that happens.
I think we've all been there.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave that in the podcast. But we appreciate y'all, and that's what this is all about. So, if you want to be on the podcast, let us know. We don't care what rank you are. Just come and tell us what you've gotten out of the community. Come and tell us what you've seen other people do for the community. This is about showing what TSB really is. We are the best of the best because everybody brings their best here. They help each other. They're kind to each other, and they can pick on each other and then still be friends afterwards. It's just
100%.
One of those things. You are like a dysfunctional family that you love so much.
It's like TSB is a AAA title that wasn't rushed.
Yes, that's it. So we're not talking about those that you turn on and get stuck in the ground. This is the good ones. So check us out. We're going to be every Monday. We'll be dropping new episodes. They're going to be on YouTube, Spotify, Google, Apple, Anchor, and probably some other places that I can't think of right now, but I think that's about it. So thanks again. We appreciate y'all, and have a good day.